All right, so today in story, we'll be studying the French Revolution, like the timeline. So there is a few important things. So in 1789, we have the beginning of the French Revolution. Actually, other thing that is very important is that 4th of July of 1776 uh, is the date of the independence of the United States, carried by George Washington. Then in 1799, in 1789, we have the French Revolution. We have Robespierre and Maximilien Robespierre and Robert Danton and the other guys, the Jacobins and the Girondins. Then they deposed Louis XVI, and there was the first republic, French Republic. Then in 1799, Napoleon took power, and then he was kind of like a Caesar thing. He was for 1 year emperor, and then in the last then 10 years, and then for the rest of the life. And he lost in 1814, uh, and he was exiled to Elba, but he came back and got allies, and then he began to take more and more power, but finally he lost at the Battle of Waterloo. And then Louis XVIII got power from 1814. Then he lost, and then 1815 he continued all the way to 1824 when he died childless. And there is a Louis the 16th, and then the 18th. The 17th was the child of the 16th, but he died in prison in the age of 10. And so his younger brother, the youngest brother of Louis XVI, took the power. And same thing happened with the 18th. Then Charles the 10th got the power, but there was a little revolution in 1830. And so let me show you the guys. So first we have good old George Washington. Then we have, I told you about Robespierre. And then we had Danton. And the other things. Then we have Louis the 16th. Then we had Louis the 18th. Looks like Danton. And then he lost. Came Charles the 10th. Charles the 10th. And well, after Charles the 10th came Louis Philippe the First. And after Louis Philippe the First, he was reigning. And then there was in 1830 he took power, and then in 1832 they made a revolution. And they did a revolution because a guy that was very cool died, and that guy was Jean Maximilien Lamarck, and he died, and they made a revolution, and that was this, they could take him off. And in 1849 came the king, and the king was Louis Napoleon Bonaparte. This guy. And well, then he lost the Franco-Prussian War in 1970, and there was the Republic, right? And yeah, that's the important thing. Oh, and also there's a book that I recommend you all read. It's called Les Miserables, from Victor Hugo, and he writes this in 1815, and it's the story of a guy that he is a. It's very cool. I'm not going to tell the story. You should read it. And it happens in 1815, after the French Revolution, and later on he talks about a revolution, and he's talking about that revolution of 1832, the one of Maximilien Lamarck. And yeah, it's pretty cool. You should read it. Oh, and he talks about Waterloo. It's like the best description of the Battle of Waterloo you could find. Talks about the Duke of Wellington and how Napoleon lost.